what is the difference between doing your yoga practice on the mat and living your yoga? Because I'm on a bit of a break from teaching at the moment, I thought this was a good topic to discuss, because many of us start off particularly as our yoga practice just being something that we do on our yoga mat. We do some sun salutes, we get our body moving, and we feel we have a nice deep relaxation, some meditation, and we feel great. And, you know, some people call it doctor yoga because we feel so good. And then we swan off and carry on our life. And maybe, if we're lucky, some of that peace and calm and clarity stays with us for a day or so, or maybe 5 minutes. And then we're just back into our life. And that's probably how it starts for many of us. Certainly, it was the way for me. But then at some point we discover that there's more to yoga than rolling out the mat and doing our practice, isn't there? And eventually, if you're interested and curious, you discover that your everyday living is yoga. Everything we do is a part of our practice, particularly the times when we're conscious and aware, the times where we notice our mind and observe. That's a practice of, observing ourselves, studying ourselves, and seeing how our mind responds. So that's one of the practices of yoga, self-study. Also, I've just been cleaning the floor, wiping down some benches and things, practicing cleaning my house. Now, how is that yoga? Well, that's a practice of cleanliness, purity, and somehow when we live in a space that feels clearer, also our mind feels clearer. It's curious, but it's absolutely true for me anyway. So that becomes yoga. What about when I'm using my weights, trying to, look after my muscles and bones, and maybe going for a walk? Is that yoga as well? Yes, of course that's yoga. That's a way of caring for myself, not adding harm, but supporting well-being, and that's part of what yoga is as well. As is eating well, making choices, conscious choices about looking after animals, conscious choices about looking after this body, conscious choices, where possible, about supporting our planet. These are all choices we make as a part of our yoga practice, particularly when we recognize the connection of everything, the ultimate oneness of everything and connection of everything. I remember a year or so ago, I did a yoga retreat. Well, it was late last year, and one of the women told her partner that part of the day was beach walking. And he said, well, that's a bit weird. Why would you go for a walk along the beach on a yoga retreat? Well, he didn't understand that there's a way of walking where you can be present and conscious, and that this, in fact, is as much yoga as is rolling out the mat and doing a practice. So I just thought I'd offer you that today, that yoga can be a way of living our everyday life in awareness. We all forget to be aware. I'm sure it's not just me, but we do. We all forget. But when we remember, we can feel that sense of connection, that inner freedom that's always there, that I'm always going on about, that inner sparkle, that meditative, still quietness, that's always there. And if we're aware of that, then we're practicing yoga. If we're trying to be aware of that, then we're definitely practicing yoga as well. If we're observing our mind, not just being caught up in it, but actually being able to observe, catch ourselves observing, that's yoga. If we're conscious of what we're doing, then we're practicing yoga. So there's lots of ways to practice yoga, to live an aware life, to live in a way that recognizes the oneness and connection of us all. And anything that takes us to that still, quiet space, that space of feeling connected, that's yoga too. So there you go. Maybe that blows away your previous concept about what yoga is. You can let me know whether it does or whether it doesn't. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.